Getting feedback on our performance and behavior is key to improving and enhancing our leadership capability. In learning how others see us, we close the gap by viewing our approach to management and leadership through the lenses of others. The 360 assessment gives us a unique opportunity to identify our strengths and improve working relationships with the people we depend on to succeed. And now a colleague has reached out to you to give them feedback to help them augment their capability. They want your help. When used in a supportive manner, assessments help each of us by identifying and clarifying our understanding of our strengths and vulnerabilities, giving a preliminary point from which to measure our personal and collective growth. Leaders armed with this insight give rise to productive staff and an organization that can realize its highest potential. So what does it mean for you? First, it means setting aside time to complete the online assessment. Book 60 minutes in your calendar like a regular business meeting. Book the time for when you'll be in your best mood and won't be interrupted. Think about the 360 objectives and your colleagues' development objectives that have been shared with you, identifying the competencies you'll be rating against. It's the comments and the questions at the end of the assessment that provide incredible value. It's often the real meat of the feedback. So be sure to spend the time to render your perspective when you reach that section. Remember to provide your comments using your professional voice to maintain your anonymity and confidentiality. You'll need to get yourself in the right head and heart space. This is about being generous with your feedback and being candid while not judging. It's about direct and constructive feedback rather than being kind. In terms of time frame, think about this person's behavior over the past 3 to 12 months rather than focusing on a particular incident last week. As you're getting ready to complete the online assessment, make sure you're on an internet connection that's not temperamental. You don't want to lose your results in the middle of the process. Bring to mind what the individual is looking for feedback on. Provide feedback in a helpful way, that is, not hearsay, rather your first-hand observations and opinion. As you're completing the assessment, think about leadership and what it will take to have your colleague boost leadership capacity. And think about the competency model used for this 360. Let's talk about those competency and behavior themes you'll be working with. These are the ones that will help your colleague grow and develop to successfully take on more responsibility and assume more senior leadership roles. They are embedded in a long-standing model of emotional intelligence. Multi-Health Systems defines emotional intelligence as a set of emotional and social skills that influence the way we perceive and express ourselves, develop and maintain social relationships, cope with challenges, and use emotional information in an effective and meaningful way. Through years of research, they have identified 5 key competencies or composites. They are self-perception, self-expression, interpersonal, decision-making, and stress management. For each of these composites, there are 3 subscales. Let's look at the model, its composites, and their subscales. A leader's exploration of emotional intelligence begins with a view of one's inner self. It is the foundation upon which one stands to face the world. We call this self-perception. Self-perception is the ability to identify and understand one's own emotions. It consists of 3 elements: self-regard, emotional self-awareness, and self-actualization. The second composite is self-expression, which consists of 3 subscales: emotional expression, assertiveness, and independence. This composite examines how we express ourselves in the world, how we show up. The interpersonal is the third composite and is about how we prefer to interact with others and the world. The 3 subscales are interpersonal relationships, that is, developing and maintaining mutually satisfying relationships; empathy, which is understanding and appreciating how others feel; and social responsibility, our social consciousness or helpfulness. Next is decision-making composite, where we find problem-solving, reality testing, and impulse control. This is about how we find solutions when emotions are involved, being objective and seeing things how they really are, and our ability to resist or delay our impulse to act. Finally, the stress management composite examines our level of flexibility, reflected in our ability to adapt our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, stress tolerance, that is, coping with stressful situations, and optimism, having a positive attitude and outlook on life during times of stress. When all the assessments are in, your colleague will receive the rolled up results, as will your colleague's coach. The coach will then hold a debriefing with your colleague to review the results and move into a development cycle in which your colleague will focus on a few of the key insights and develop action plans to enhance their competencies and behaviors. To support the assessment debrief session, the Leadership Intelligence Coach will be using two frameworks to provide feedback. First, the Legacy Leadership Model, and second, the OPS Leader-Manager Model as frameworks for that feedback. The Legacy Leadership Model, described in this book by Janine Sandstrom and Lee Smith, identifies 5 leadership roles that are critical for the leader: the holder of the vision and values, the creator of collaboration and innovation, the influencer of inspiration and leadership, the advocator of differences and community, and the calibrator of responsibility and accountability. This is one lens through which the coach will be providing feedback and direction. The other lens the coach will be using is that of the Ontario Public Sector Leader-Manager Competency Model. This model deals with the leader-manager's 4 competencies and 2 behavioral dimensions. The 4 competencies are delivering on accountabilities and commitments, leading others, shaping and executing plans, and accomplishing what one is setting out to do, while recognizing that success is based more on what your team accomplishes than on what you do. Connecting with others, relating to and engaging peers, superiors, and subordinates in order to successfully build the foundation for one's plans, and then to execute on those plans. We are all interdependent and need the support of others to be successful as we pursue our mandate. Inspiring others, and once again it includes peers, superiors, and subordinates. This takes the connect dimension to another level, supporting the motivation of people on the team and encouraging them forward, even and especially in stressful times. Transforming operations to more effectively fulfill one's mandate and accountabilities. This means changing your own and others' mindsets to continually look for better ways of doing things and shaping the way things work around here to reflect the vision of a desired future state. The 2 behavioral dimensions are self-awareness, being able to identify how one's own thoughts and emotions are affecting performance and interactions with others. Only through self-awareness can you identify what you want to adjust and need to adjust to be more effective in your leadership role. Integrity, in order to build trust with one's peers, superiors, and subordinates. Through this trust, more can be accomplished by the teams and the colleagues on whom you rely. We introduce these to you as some context for what will follow from your significant contribution to the growth and development plans generated by your colleague as a result of this exercise. After you've completed the online assessment, take some time to jot down some notes on anything that struck you that you might want to share with the participant, items that could contribute to their growth. You may even want to reach out or check back with your colleague in 3 weeks to offer support and be available for a chat. It's an honor and a privilege to be invited to provide this kind of feedback to another person. It means that they are open to and respect your opinions. You're engaged and even vested in this person's development and future success. We encourage you to take that responsibility with care and mindfulness.